The crash. The night sky of the Montana wilderness erupted in a blaze of light as Princess Zara's ship plummeted through the atmosphere. Alarms blared throughout the sleek vessel, warning of catastrophic system failures. Zara's emerald eyes widened in panic as she fought to regain control, her six-fingered hands dancing across holographic interfaces. "Computer, status report," she shouted, her melodic voice strained with fear. Multiple hull breaches detected, engine core unstable, impact imminent in 30 seconds. Zara gritted her teeth, her pearlescent skin glistening with sweat. This was no accident. Someone had sabotaged her ship. As the ground rushed up to meet her, she closed her eyes and whispered a prayer to the cosmic entities her people revered. Miles away, Jake Harrison bolted upright in his bed, startled awake by a thunderous boom that shook the walls of his cabin. The grizzled ex-military mechanic grabbed his rifle and rushed outside, his eyes scanning the tree line. A plume of smoke rose in the distance, illuminated by an otherworldly glow. "What in the hell?" Jake muttered, his curiosity overriding caution. He hopped into his battered pickup truck and set off toward the crash site, unaware that this night would change his life forever. As Jake approached the smoking crater, his headlights illuminated a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. The twisted wreckage of a ship unlike anything he'd ever seen lay scattered across the forest floor. Strange symbols adorned the hull, pulsing with a faint blue light. "Hello," Jake called out, his voice echoing in the eerie stillness. "Anyone alive in there?" A weak moan answered him, barely audible over the crackle of small fires. Jake scrambled down into the crater, his heart pounding. He pushed aside a sheet of strange, metallic material and gasped. Lying amid the debris was the most beautiful and alien woman he'd ever seen. Her skin shimmered like opals, and delicate antennae sprouted from her forehead. But what struck Jake most were her eyes, large, almond-shaped, and a brilliant emerald green. Those eyes now fluttered open, filled with pain and confusion. "Help! Me!" she whispered before losing consciousness again. Jake's military training kicked in. He quickly assessed her injuries, multiple lacerations, possible internal bleeding, a badly broken leg. She needed medical attention fast, but he couldn't exactly take her to the local hospital. "Hang in there, lady," Jake muttered as he carefully lifted her from the wreckage. "I've got you." Back at his cabin, Jake laid the alien woman on his bed and got to work. Years of patching up wounded soldiers in the field had prepared him for this moment. He cleaned and bandaged her wounds, set her broken leg as best he could, and hooked her up to an IV drip of saline solution. As dawn broke, Jake sat beside the bed, watching the slow rise and fall of the alien's chest. What had he gotten himself into? Should he contact the authorities? But something told him that would be a bad idea. Whoever she was in danger, and Jake had never been one to turn his back on someone in need. Hours passed, and Jake dozed off in his chair. He was jolted awake by a gentle touch on his arm. The alien woman was awake, her emerald eyes regarding him with a mixture of fear and curiosity. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice musical despite its weakness. Jake leaned forward, speaking softly. "You're safe. Your ship crashed in the forest near my home. I brought you here to treat your injuries." The woman's antenna twitched, and she winced in pain. "You helped me, even though I'm not like you." Jake nodded, a small smile crossing his weathered face. "Ma'am, I don't care if you're from Mars or Montana. Someone in trouble is someone in trouble." Relief washed over the alien's features. "Thank you," she whispered. "I am Zara, Crown Princess of the Galactic Confederation of Astoria." She paused, her expression growing grave. "And I feel I've brought great danger to your world." Jake's eyebrows shot up. "Crown Princess, huh? Well, Your Highness, I'm Jake Harrison, former U.S. Army combat medic, current hermit and mechanic." He chuckled softly. "Looks like we've both come down in the world a bit." Zara managed a weak smile, then grimaced as she tried to sit up. Jake gently eased her back onto the pillows. Easy there, princess. You've got a lot of healing to do before you're ready for any Galactic Confederation business. Zara's eyes filled with tears. You don't understand. There may not be a confederation left to return to. My ship, it was sabotaged. There's been a coup, and She broke off, overcome by emotion. Jake took her hand, marveling at how similar it felt to a human's despite the extra finger. Hey, one problem at a time, okay. Right now, you need to rest and recover. We'll figure out the rest later. As Zara drifted back to sleep, Jake's mind raced. A galactic princess, a coup, sabotage. It was like something out of a bad science fiction novel. And yet, here she was, flesh and blood. Well, whatever passed for blood in her species, depending on him for survival. Jake walked to the window, gazing out at the forest. Somewhere out there lay the wreckage of Zara's ship. How long before someone else discovered it? How long before whoever was hunting her traced her to Earth? He'd left his military life behind years ago, seeking solitude and peace in these mountains. But it seemed the universe had other plans. Jake squared his shoulders, a familiar sense of determination settling over him. "All right, princess," he murmured. "Looks like we're in this together now." As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Jake began to plan. He'd need supplies, weapons, and information. But most of all, he'd need to keep Zara hidden and safe while she recovered, because something told him that the fate of more than just one alien princess might rest in his hands. Little did Jake know that his simple act of compassion would set in motion a chain of events that would change not only his life, but the course of human history. The battle for Earth and the stars beyond was about to begin. Co-Pirateries continue next part, more unique and very popular for rank content on YouTube channel first page, and very popular words for no available on YouTube first page it certainly. I'll craft the next part of our story with an aim to make it unique, engaging, and optimized for YouTube popularity. Here's part 2, focusing on elements that could make it stand out on YouTube's first page. Part 2, Cosmic Fugitives. The Montana sunrise painted the sky in hues of lavender and gold, but Jake Harrison had no time to admire the view. His hands moved with practiced efficiency as he fortified his cabin, transforming it into a makeshift fortress. Princess Zara watched from her makeshift bed, her emerald eyes wide with a mixture of fascination and guilt. "I'm sorry to have brought this chaos into your life, Jake," she said softly, her melodic voice tinged with remorse. Jake paused, wiping sweat from his brow. "Princess, I've seen enough chaos in my life to know when it's worth facing. Now, tell me more about these Shadowclaw assassins you mentioned. What are we up against?" Zara's antennae quivered, a sign Jake had come to recognize as anxiety. "They are the elite guard of the usurper, Drax Voidheart. Cybernetically enhanced, ruthless, and," she hesitated, "capable of limited shapeshifting." Jake whistled low. "Well, that complicates things. Any way to detect them?" A spark of hope lit Zara's eyes. "Actually, yes. My people possess a unique ability, dormant in most, but strong in the royal bloodline. We can sense the life force of other beings, see the threads of energy that connect all living things." "That's incredible," Jake murmured, his mind racing with the tactical possibilities. "Can you teach me?" Zara's laugh was like wind chimes in a summer breeze. "Oh, Jake, it's not something that can be taught. It's as much a part of me as your eyes are of you. But," she paused, considering, "perhaps I could find a way to share it with you temporarily." Before Jake could respond, a high-pitched whine filled the air. Both of them tensed, recognizing the sound of a ship entering the atmosphere. "They're here," Zara whispered, fear evident in her voice. Jake's expression hardened. "Not for long. Can you walk?" Zara nodded, struggling to her feet. Jake supported her as they made their way to a hidden cellar beneath the cabin. As he helped her down the ladder, their eyes met. In that moment, an unspoken understanding passed between them, human and alien, bound together by circumstance and growing trust. Stay here, Jake said. No matter what you hear, don't come out until I give the all clear. Zara grabbed his hand. Jake, wait. There's something else you should know. My people, we have a saying, in the darkest night, stars are born. It means that in our greatest challenges, we find our true strength. She closed her eyes, concentrating, and suddenly Jake felt a warm tingling sensation spreading from where their hands touched. What? What did you do? He gasped, as the world around him seemed to shimmer with newfound energy. Zara smiled weakly. I shared a fraction of my ability with you. It won't last long, but it might give you an edge. Now go, Earth's champion. Show these invaders the strength of humanity. As Jake emerged from the cabin, the forest around him pulsed with life he'd never noticed before. He could sense the heartbeats of nearby animals, the slow, steady energy of the trees. And approaching fast, 3 distinct, cold presences that sent chills down his spine. The Shadowclaw assassins materialized at the edge of the clearing, their forms shimmering and indistinct. Jake raised his rifle, but in a blur of motion, it was knocked from his hands. Where is the princess? A guttural voice demanded. Jake smirked, feeling more alive than he had in years. Sorry, boys. No princess is here. Just a grumpy old soldier who doesn't like uninvited guests. What followed was a battle unlike any Jake had ever fought. He moved with inhuman speed and precision, anticipating his opponent's attacks before they made them. The assassins were fast, but Jake was one with the forest, using the terrain to his advantage. As the fight raged on, Jake noticed something strange. The life energy of the forest seemed to be flowing into him, empowering him. Was this Zora's doing? Or something more? With a primal roar, Jake unleashed a burst of pure energy, sending the assassins flying. They hit the ground hard, their shape-shifting abilities failing to reveal their true, grotesque forms. Panting heavily, Jake approached the fallen assassins. Consider this a message for your boss. Earth is off limits. Suddenly, the assassins' bodies began to disintegrate, turning to ash before Jake's eyes. A failsafe, he realized. No prisoners, no evidence. As the adrenaline faded, Jake became aware of a presence behind him. He turned to see Zora standing at the cabin door, her eyes wide with awe. Jake, she whispered, do you realize what you've done? You've awakened the dormant potential within yourself. In all my people's history, no other species has ever. She trailed off, overcome with emotion. Jake looked down at his hands, still tingling with residual energy. What does this mean, Zara? She stepped forward, taking his hands in hers. It means, Jake Harrison, that you may be the key to saving not just me, but your entire world. The prophecies spoke of a cosmic nexus, a being capable of uniting the energies of all sentient species. We always assumed it would be one of our own, but now... Jake's mind reeled with the implications. He was no chosen one, no destined hero. He was just a man who'd tried to do the right thing. And yet... So, what's our next move, Princess? He asked, a hint of his old humor returning. Zora's eyes gleamed with determination. We find allies. We uncover the truth behind Drax's coup. And then, Jake Harrison, we take the fight to the stars. As they stood together, human and alien, the Montana wind whispered through the trees. Change was coming, not just to Earth, but to the entire galaxy. And at the center of it all stood an unlikely pair, a wounded alien princess and the human who defied the odds to save her. Little did they know, their greatest challenges and greatest triumphs still lay ahead. Celestial allies. The neon lights of New Vegas pierced the night sky, a beacon of human excess visible from orbit. Jake Harrison adjusted his holographic disguise, still marveling at the alien tech that made him appear as a blue-skinned Andromean trader. Beside him, Princess Zora's own disguise flickered, transforming her into a statuesque Venusian diplomat. Remind me again why we're here. Jake muttered, eyeing the throngs of interstellar tourists and shady characters crowding the streets. Zora's emerald eyes glimmered with excitement beneath her disguise. Because Jake knew Vegas isn't just a playground for humanity's vices, it's the ultimate neutral ground in the galaxy, a place where information flows as freely as Neptunian wine. They approached a towering casino, its facade shimmering with quantum-entangled particles that displayed ever-changing galactic odds. The cosmic confluence, playground of alien high rollers and secretive power brokers. "Our contact is inside," Zara whispered. "A Zephyrian information broker named Quasar. He's agreed to help us for a price." Jake nodded, his hand brushing the concealed energy pistol at his hip. "And what price would that be, Princess?" Zara's expression turned grim. "The last fragments of my homeworld's shattered moon, a relic of immense power and cultural significance." As they entered the casino, Jake's newfound cosmic awareness tingled. The cacophony of alien life forces threatened to overwhelm him, but he focused, searching for any sign of threat. They found Quasar at a quantum roulette table, his gaseous form contained within an ornate environmental suit. 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession as he regarded them. "Ah, the exiled princess and her pet human," Quasar's voice wheezed through a translator. "I was beginning to think you wouldn't show." Jake bristled at the pet comment, but Zara placed a calming hand on his arm. "We've brought what you asked for, Quasar. Now, tell us what you know about Drax Voidheart's plans." Quasar's form rippled with amusement. "Straight to business, I see. Very well. But first, a game. The stakes, your relic against the information you seek." Jake stepped forward, his eyes narrowing. "And if we refuse?" The information broker's laughter sounded like escaping steam. "Then you leave empty-handed, and I sell your location to the highest bidder. Choose wisely." Zara and Jake exchanged glances. They both knew the risks, but they were out of options. Zara nodded, producing a small box that hummed with latent energy. Quasar's eyes widened at the sight of the moon fragments. "Excellent. Now, human, your species is known for its gambling spirit. Care to try your luck?" Jake approached the roulette table, hyper-aware of the alien energies swirling around him. As he placed his hand on the quantum randomizer, he felt a surge of power. The cosmic energy Zara had awakened in him resonated with the casino's probability fields. "All or nothing," Jake declared, locking eyes with Quasar. The roulette wheel spun, a blur of colors and symbols from a dozen alien cultures. Jake closed his eyes, reaching out with his newfound senses. He could feel the quantum fluctuations, the ebb and flow of cosmic chance. With a burst of will, Jake pushed, ever so slightly, guiding the ball towards its destination. The wheel slowed, and a hush fell over the gathered aliens. The ball clattered to a stop. Quasar's form pulsed with shock. "Impossible. You've hit the cosmic confluence. Odds of 1 in a trillion." Jake grinned, the rush of victory coursing through him. "Looks like Lady Luck's on our side. Now, about that information." Quasar's defeat quickly turned to excitement. "Oh, this is even better than I'd hoped. You, human, you're no ordinary being. You're a Nexus Walker." Zara gasped, her disguise flickering momentarily. "A Nexus Walker, but they're just legends." "Oh, they're real, Princess," Quasar bubbled. "Beings capable of manipulating the very fabric of reality. Long thought extinct, but here's one right before my eyes." Jake's mind reeled. What does this have to do with Drax Voidheart? Quasar leaned in close, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Everything. Drax isn't just after your throne, Princess. He's searching for the Cosmic Forge, an ancient artifact said to have created the universe itself. With a Nexus Walker at his command, he could reshape reality as he sees fit." The implications were staggering. Jake felt the weight of entire galaxies settling on his shoulders. "So what do we do?" Zara's eyes blazed with determination. "We find the Cosmic Forge first, and to do that, we'll need a ship." Quasar's form rippled with excitement. "As it happens, I know just the vessel. The Starwaver, docked in Bay 94. Fastest ship in 3 quadrants, with a few special modifications." As they left the casino, Jake's mind was awhirl with questions. Zara, did you know about this Nexus Walker business? The princess shook her head, her expression a mix of awe and concern. I had my suspicions when you first connected with my people's energy, but this… Jake, do you realize what this means? You might be the most powerful being in the galaxy. Jake laughed humorlessly. Great. No pressure or anything. As they approached Bay 94, a commotion erupted ahead. A group of rough-looking aliens surrounded a tall, reptilian figure with iridescent scales. That's our pilot, Quasar wheezed. Zixliak, the best navigator this side of the Andromeda Galaxy. Without hesitation, Jake stepped forward, his hands glowing with cosmic energy. Gentlemen, I suggest you step away from the lady. The alien thugs turned, their eyes widening at the sight of Jake's power. They scattered, leaving a bewildered Zixliak staring at her rescuers. Who? What are you? She hissed, her forked tongue flicking out in surprise. Jake grinned, letting his disguise fall away. Just a human with a knack for being in the right place at the right time. I hear you're the best pilot around. How'd you like to help save the universe? Zixliak's multifaceted eyes glittered with intrigue. Save the universe. Well, it's just got to be more entertaining than shuttling drunken tourists. I'm in. As they boarded the Star Weaver, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into something far bigger than they could imagine. The fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds now rested in their hands. Zara took her place at the ship's controls, her royal training evident in every confident movement. Where to, Nexus Walker? She asked, a hint of teasing in her voice. Jake looked out at the star-filled expanse before them, feeling the pull of cosmic forces he was only beginning to understand. Wherever the universe needs us, princess, let's go make some history. With a burst of energy, the Star Weaver shot into the night sky, leaving behind the glittering lights of New Vegas. Their quest to find the cosmic forge and stop Drax Voidheart had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Echoes of eternity. The Star Weaver hurtled through the kaleidoscopic tunnel of hyperspace, its quantum engines purring like cosmic cats. Inside the ship's holographic command center, Jake Harrison stood before a shimmering star map, his newfound powers allowing him to perceive the intricate web of energy connecting every celestial body. There, he said, pointing to a pulsing node of light. The cosmic forge is calling to me. It's hidden in the heart of the Whirlpool Galaxy. Princess Zara's antennae twitched with excitement. The Whirlpool. But that's in the Forbidden Zone. No ship has returned from there in millennia. Zixliak, their reptilian pilot, let out a hissing laugh. No ship until now. The Star Weaver was built for the impossible. As they'd plotted their course, a holographic transmission crackled to life. The imposing figure of Drax Voidheart materialized before them, his obsidian armor gleaming with malevolent energy. Princess, he sneered, I see you found yourself a pet Nexus Walker. How quaint. But do you really think you can outrace destiny? Jake stepped forward, cosmic energy crackling around his fists. We're not racing destiny, Voidheart. We're rewriting it. Draks of laughter echoed through the ship. Brave words, human. But can you back them up? I challenge you to the trials of aeons. If you truly are a Nexus Walker, prove it by surviving the greatest tests the universe has to offer. The transmission cut off, leaving the crew in stunned silence. The trials of aeons? Jake asked, turning to Zara. Her face had gone pale. An ancient rite, older than my civilization. It said that only beings of immense cosmic power can survive them. Jake, we don't have to. Yes, we do. Jake interrupted, his voice firm. It's our best shot at beating Drax to the cosmic forge. Besides, he added with a grin, I've always been a quick study. As the Star Weaver approached the edge of the Forbidden Zone, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. Strange, ethereal beings of pure energy appeared, their voices a chorus of starlight and black holes. Nexus Walker, they intoned, to prove your worth, You must face the trials of aeons. Are you prepared? Jake took a deep breath, feeling the weight of cosmic responsibility settling on his shoulders. I am. In a flash of light, Jake found himself transported to a realm beyond mortal comprehension. The first trial materialized around him, the labyrinth of lost souls. Endless corridors stretched in every direction, each turn leading to impossible geometries. Jake could feel the despair of countless beings who had lost themselves here over the eons. But with his Nexus Walker abilities, Jake perceived the underlying pattern of the maze. He began to move, each step altering reality itself, bending the labyrinth to his will. As he neared the center, he encountered shades of those who had failed before him. They reached out with ghostly hands, trying to drag him into their eternal torment. I'm sorry, Jake whispered, his heart aching for their pain. But I can't join you. There's too much at stake. With a surge of cosmic energy, he banished the shades and stepped into the heart of the labyrinth. The first trial was complete. Next came the Forge of Forgotten Stars. Jake found himself floating in a vast cosmic workshop, surrounded by the raw materials of creation. A booming voice echoed through the void. Create a star, Nexus Walker, but not just any star, one that has never existed before and never will again. Jake closed his eyes, reaching deep into the well of cosmic power within him. He envisioned a star unlike any other, a crystalline core of pure thought, wrapped in layers of liquid time, its corona a dancing aurora of possibilities. With a gesture, the impossible star sprang into existence, its light illuminating realities that had never been seen before. The voice rumbled with approval. You understand the nature of creation. The second trial is past. The final trial transported Jake to the edge of a collapsing universe. Before him lay the chasm of infinite regret, a temporal void filled with the accumulated sorrow of every being that had ever lived. To cross, the cosmic judges declared, you must carry the weight of all existence's pain. Few have the strength to bear such a burden. Jake steeled himself and stepped into the chasm. Instantly, he was overwhelmed by waves of anguish, despair, and loss. He saw worlds die, civilizations crumble, and love turn to ash. But with each step, he also felt something else: hope, the indomitable spirit of life that persisted even in the darkest moments. Jake drew strength from this, using it to forge a path through the sea of sorrow. As he reached the other side, battered but unbroken, the judges spoke once more. You have passed the trials of aeons, Nexus Walker. The path to the cosmic forge is open to you. In a blinding flash, Jake found himself back on the Star River. Zara rushed to embrace him, her eyes wide with wonder. Jake, you were gone for mere seconds, but we saw incredible things. Entire galaxies born and dying in the blink of an eye. What happened? Jake smiled warily. Let's just say I got a new appreciation for the phrase time is relative, but we don't have a moment to lose. Set a course for the heart of the Whirlpool Galaxy. It's time we forge our own destiny. As the Starweaver plunged deeper into the forbidden zone, the crew could feel the very fabric of space-time bending around them. They were racing not just against Drax Voidheart, but against the fundamental forces of the universe itself. Little did they know, the greatest challenge still lay ahead. For at the heart of the Whirlpool Galaxy, the cosmic forge awaited, a power so vast it could remake reality itself. And the question remained, in the face of such cosmic might, would Jake's humanity be his greatest strength or his ultimate weakness? The fate of all existence hung in the balance, as the Starweaver hurtled towards its final destination, carrying with it the hopes of countless worlds and the power to reshape the very nature of reality itself. The Forge of Destiny. The Starweaver emerged from hyperspace in a burst of quantum foam, its hull crackling with exotic energies. Before them lay the heart of the Whirlpool Galaxy, a swirling maelstrom of stars and nebulae, at the center of which pulsed a blinding light, the Cosmic Forge. Jake Harrison stood at the ship's viewport, his eyes glowing with otherworldly power. The trials of aeons had changed him, unlocking abilities he was only beginning to comprehend. By the eternal stars, Princess Zora breathed, her antennae quivering in awe. We've actually found it. Zixliak's forked tongue flicked out nervously. Something's not right. The ship's sensors are going haywire. As if in response to her words, space itself seemed to ripple. A massive battlecruiser materialized beside them, dwarfing the Starweaver. Drax, Jake growled, recognizing the ominous vessel. The comm system crackled to life, and Drax Voidheart's smart voice filled the bridge. Well done, Nexus Walker. You've led me straight to the prize. I must thank you for passing the trials in my stead. Zora's eyes widened in realization. You used us. Naturally, Drax chuckled. Why risk my own neck when I could let you clear the path? And now, the power of creation itself will be mine. The battlecruiser's weapons charged, preparing to obliterate the Starweaver. But Jake was ready. With a gesture, he created a bubble of warped spacetime around their ship, causing the energy beams to curve harmlessly away. Impressive, Drax admitted. But can you protect your friends and reach the forge at the same time? A swarm of smaller craft erupted from the battlecruiser, streaking towards the pulsing light of the cosmic forge. Jake turned to his companions, his expression grim. Zexliak, can you get us to that light? The reptilian pilot grinned, showing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Fastest ship in 3 quadrants, remember. Hold on to your molecular structure. The Starweaver shot forward, dancing between enemy fighters with impossible agility. Jake extended his cosmic awareness, guiding Zixliak through gaps in spacetime that no ordinary pilot could perceive. As they neared the forge, reality began to break down. Past, present, and future blurred together. Jake saw glimpses of possible timelines, worlds where Drax succeeded, universes unraveled by the misuse of cosmic power. We can't let him win, Zora said, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. The fate of every reality depends on us. Jake nodded, feeling the weight of infinite possibilities on his shoulders. Then let's rewrite the story of creation. With a final burst of speed, the Starweaver plunged into the heart of the light. For a moment, all was silent. Then, existence itself seemed to shatter. Jake found himself floating in a void beyond space and time. Before him hovered the cosmic forge, a swirling nexus of pure creation energy. But he wasn't alone. Drax Voidheart materialized opposite him, his obsidian armor cracking to reveal the roiling chaos within. This is the moment of truth, Nexus Walker, Drax sneered. Let's see if you have what it takes to wield the power of the god. Both beings reached for the forge simultaneously. The instant they made contact, the universe exploded into being around them. Galaxies whirled into existence and died in the span of heartbeats. Entire civilizations rose and fell as Jake and Drax grappled for control. Jake felt himself stretching across realities, his consciousness expanding to encompass the totality of existence. He saw the intricate web of cause and effect that shaped the cosmos, the delicate balance that held reality together. And he understood. You don't get it, do you, Drax? Jake's voice echoed across dimensions. This power isn't meant to be controlled, it's meant to be shepherded. With that realization, Jake stopped fighting against the cosmic energy and instead opened himself to it fully. He became a conduit for creation itself, allowing the power to flow through him rather than trying to bend it to his will. Drax, still struggling to dominate the forge, howled in fury. No, the power is mine to command. But his efforts only caused reality to fracture further. Paradoxes bloomed like cosmic cancer, threatening to unravel the very fabric of existence. Jake knew what he had to do. Drawing upon every ounce of his humanity, his capacity for love, for sacrifice, for hope, he reached out to Drax. Let it go, he said, his voice gentle despite its multiversal resonance. This power is too vast for any one being, but together we can preserve the beauty of creation. For a moment, Drax hesitated. Jake glimpsed the wounded soul beneath the tyrant's exterior, a child of a dying world, desperate to reshape reality to salve ancient hurts. In that instant of connection, something miraculous happened. The cosmic forge pulsed, and suddenly, Jake and Drax were no longer alone. Zara appeared, her royal lineage granting her a unique connection to the cosmic energies. Zixliek materialized next, her innate navigational skills translating to an intuitive understanding of spacetime itself. One by one, representatives of every sentient species in existence joined them, not physically, but as avatars of their collective consciousness. "Don't you see?" Jake said, addressing not just Drax, but all of creation. "This is what the Forge is for, not to be wielded by one, but to be shared by all." Understanding dawned across the vast cosmic assembly. Guided by Jake's compassion, Zara's wisdom, and the combined knowledge of countless civilizations, the power of the Forge was distributed throughout the universe. Reality reshaped itself, not in the image of any one being's desires, but as a grand collaboration of all life. Wounds in the cosmic fabric healed, dying stars were rekindled, and across every world, beings looked to the sky with a newfound sense of connection to the cosmos. As the energies settled, Jake found himself back on the bridge of the Star Waver. Zara and Zixliek stood beside him, their eyes wide with wonder. What just happened?" Zara asked, her voice hushed. Jake smiled, feeling the echo of cosmic power thrumming through his veins. "We rewrote the story of the universe. All of us together." Zixliek's scales shimmered with starlight. "Where to now, Nexus Walker?" Jake looked out at the transformed galaxy, endless possibilities stretching before them. "Everywhere," he said. "We've got a whole new cosmos to explore." As the Starweaver set off into the unknown, Jake knew that their greatest adventure was just beginning. The power of the cosmic forge lived on in every sentient being, a spark of creation waiting to ignite new wonders. And somewhere out there, Jake sensed, Drax was on his own journey of discovery, no longer a void-hearted tyrant, but a fellow traveler in the grand cosmic dance. The universe, infinite in its potential, pulsed with newfound life and purpose. And at the heart of it all was a simple truth that Jake had known all along. The greatest power in existence wasn't dominion over reality, but the capacity to forge connections, to empathize, to love. As the Starweaver vanished into the star-studded depths of space, a new legend began to spread across the cosmos, the tale of the human Nexus Walker who had reminded the universe of its own humanity.